Tomorrow, Title 42 will expire and a surge of migrants seeking asylum is expected.
Fox 5's Elizabeth Alvarez joining us live from the border with a look at the conditions right now and what is next for the migrants. Elizabeth.
Yeah, what is next? Still undetermined. And there is, I can tell you, a lot of fear, especially from the families that we are starting to talk to. More and more migrants from all over the world. In fact, we are meeting, including a family I just met, traveled all the way here from Africa, the Republic of Guinea, a husband, a wife, and their one-year-old child. And they're telling me that their child is sick. That this little boy is not feeling well. I have mom here. Fatuma, can you tell us what is happening right now? She had pleaded for some help. Her husband is here. I think she wants us to talk to her husband. Her husband is on his way, and he had pulled, had actually asked to talk to me. What is happening? I understand your child is not feeling well right now?
Yes, my child is really sick. I'm on the border to the United States. I came here to seek help that I don't want to lose him here.
Describe what's happening. I mean, he's lethargic? You were saying that he's not eating?
He's not eating right now. He's not drinking anything. He have fever, so he's like sleepy. So now I'm really afraid to lose him right now.
You came all the way from Africa. You said you arrived yesterday. Did you know that it was going to be like this? What did you imagine? What did you think?
I knew it will be harder, but not like this. I couldn't risk his life to come until here. I came here to let him have a good life, the American life, the American dream, So I don't want him to live the life I have lived. So that's why I came here. If I lost him on the border, it will be bad for me.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned you're hoping that the border officials or whoever shows up here this morning, in terms of a government official, will come to you and come to your child and helps and provide some aid. I wanted to ask you, you also mentioned that it has been a very difficult journey even through the country of Mexico. What happened to you?
We have been in Mexico. We live. It was really hard because of the police office. Every time they stopped the bus, they took all of the passenger money. So the first time we didn't knew it. After that, we tried to hide our money. You can't travel without money. When you hide it, they have everything, every tool necessary to how can I say it? To stretch your bags, to look at under your luggage.
So you were saying that you were robbed of your money as you were traveling through the country here in Mexico. Okay, thank you for sharing. We're going to see if perhaps we can see if we see a border patrol or a CBP officer alert them that you say your child is sick. Best of luck to you. I know it's a very, very difficult and really desperate situation, folks who are watching us live. Again, we are here about 4 miles west of the San Ysidro port of entry. And I also want to point you in this direction as David Pradell, our photographer, zooms in. I was speaking to some of the migrants earlier. In fact, Alonzo, whom I met yesterday, he tells me that every morning what they've started to do, and he has been here for about 5 days now, no, excuse me, 3 days. He says every morning they start to get organized. They being the migrants themselves, they start to organize themselves and get in certain lines, certain groups according to the color of their wristband. Wristbands that were given to them by Border Patrol as they made their way into this territory which is international territory, by the way. These folks are in between the primary and secondary fencing. This is international territory. This is like a waiting area for all of these migrants who tell us that they are waiting to seek asylum into the United States, and these wristbands that were given to them as they got here, as they managed to get to this point by Border Patrol, they're color coded. So some have green wristbands. Those who have green wristbands, I believe they are going to be among the first group, as these migrants have told me, to be taken to begin the processing, and then after that, it I'm not sure what color is next, but that is kind of what you're seeing, and that's why you see certain clusters of people kind of in a line formation, if you will. But without a doubt, it's just for so many families, a desperate situation, especially for those with young children. So we are keeping an eye on the situation here. They tell me that they do have some leftover food from some of the humanitarian groups that show up on a daily basis here on the U.S. Side to provide food and water. Border Patrol also does provide water. We saw that happen yesterday. So we are just keeping an eye on things here, and there's still a lot of unknown questions, though, as to, well, how they're being processed, when they're being processed, where they're being taken. We saw yesterday that some of the single men were taken to a different area as a way to separate single men from families. Perhaps Border Patrol is doing that to keep people a little bit more comfortable. So guys, we are going to send things back to you in the studio for right now as we watch things unfold out here.
Yeah, and Elizabeth, we were talking a little bit earlier about more and more children were coming close to the site as the day got near. You just saw, when you see that baby in that mother's arms right behind you there, it kind of breaks everybody's hearts. In terms of vulnerable population, do the kids obviously fall into that category? You mentioned you're going to go talk to Border Patrol. When they see a child in that condition, do they send people to help? Or I see a lot of families holding little ones, and that one that wasn't eating or drinking.
Right. That's a great observation. I mean, the children that you're seeing here in this area right now are with either their parents or a guardian. So they're not unaccompanied children. They are actually children with adults. We were told by the Border Patrol and federal officials that had early on made the announcement of how they were going to begin identifying and processing these migrants, that yes, women and children in family clusters will be given priority, as well as unaccompanied minors. Now, unaccompanied minors are not here that we know of. They'll be taken, or they are taken somewhere else, perhaps to a more secured location. But you're looking here at Alonzo. We talked to Alonzo yesterday, Raul.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
Shali, if you remember, that's his son. That is his son, and he's with his son. And Alonzo, ¿qué color he's got a yellow wristband because he got here on Tuesday night, so yellow. And so when they're going to take him and to the processing area, or at least to begin the processing area, he's not sure, but there are certainly other people that have been here for now 5 days, guys.
Goodness. Just look at those little kids' eyes, just kind of trusting their parents are doing the right thing by them, and that's kind of what we're getting. Hopefully that little baby gets some kind of help from somebody. Elizabeth, thank you very much. Powerful stuff. Appreciate it.